Hello, welcome to the Bible in 5 years. My name is Armando. We are reading the Bible in chronological order, and it's going to take us a few years. But our stories are short and sweet because we read verses here. We don't read chapters. From 3 verses to 30 verses tops. That's right. And we're trying to keep our stories short so we can remember what we read. This project podcast is aimed for people who had never read the Bible. They don't know what the Bible says, or they are not familiarized with the Bible, and it's okay. This project podcast is made for you. And if you happen to be a Christian and you happen to stumble into this podcast, stick around because I need your help. At the end of the reading, I will ask you for help, and it has nothing to do with money. It has to do with the algorithm. And click, 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 click. That's right. Clicking on your mouse. I don't think even people use mouse anymore. A mouse. Whatever. So let's change the music so we can do a reading of today. Let's do it. Day 322, Cities of Refuge, Numbers, chapter 35, from verse 9 on. And the Lord said to Moses, say this to the people of Israel. When you cross the Jordan into the land of Canaan, designate cities of refuge for people to flee to if they have killed someone accidentally. These cities will be places of protection from a dead person's relatives who want to avenge the dead. The slayer must not be killed before being tried by the community. Designate 6 cities for refuge for yourselves, 3 of the east side of the Jordan River and 3 on the west in the land of Canaan. These cities are for the protection of Israelites, resident foreigners, and traveling merchants. Anyone who accidentally kills someone may flee there for safety. But if someone strikes and kills another person with a piece of iron, it must be presumed to be murder, and the murderer must be executed. Or if someone strikes and kills another person with a large stone, it is murder, and the murderer must be executed. The same is true if someone strikes and kills another person with a wooden weapon. It must be presumed to be murder, and the murderer must be executed. The victim's nearest relative is responsible for putting the murderer to death. When they meet, the avenger must execute the murderer. So, if in premeditated hostility someone pushes another person or throws a dangerous object and the person dies, it is murder. Or if someone angrily hits another person with a fist and the person dies, it is murder. In such cases, the victim's nearest relative must execute the murderer when they meet. But suppose someone pushes another person without premeditated hostility, or throws something that unintentionally hits another person, or accidentally drops a stone on someone, though they were not enemies, and the person dies. If this should happen, the assembly must follow these regulations in making a judgment between the slayer and the avenger, the victim's nearest relative. They must protect the slayer from the avenger, and they must send the slayer back to live in a city of refuge until the death of the high priest. But if the slayer leaves the city of refuge and the victim's nearest relative finds him outside the city limits and kills him, it will now be considered murder. The slayer should have stayed inside the city of refuge until the death of the high priest. But after the death of the high priest, the slayer may return to his own property. These are permanent laws for you to observe from generation to generation, wherever you may live. All murderers must be executed, but only if there is more than one witness. No one may be put to death on the testimony of only one witness. Also, you must never accept a ransom payment for the life of someone judged guilty of murder and subject to execution. Murderers must always be put to death and never accept a ransom payment from someone who has fled to a city of refuge, allowing the slayer to return to his property before the death of the high priest. This will ensure that the land where you live will not be polluted, for murder pollutes the land. For murder pollutes the land. Orale. And no atonement can be made for murder except by the execution of the murderer. You must not defile the land where you are going to live, for I live there myself. I am the Lord who lives among the people of Israel. Wow. All right, we have come to the end of our reading today. We are reading the Bible in chronological order, more than 1,000 stories, easily 1,800 stories and chunk. Maybe more, I don't know, but it's a lot of stories, and it's going to take us a few years. But our stories are short and sweet because we read verses here. We don't read chapters. We read from 3 verses to up to 30 verses. We don't read 2 or 3 chapters of the different books of the Bible. No, we don't do that. We're trying to keep these stories short so we can remember what we read. And the idea is to keep our stories 10 minutes or less as possible. And again, it's because so we can remember what we read. Sometimes I talk more than what we read, honestly. So if you're familiarized with my speech about, what is this podcast about and how we do it, this and how we do that, you can just stick around for the reading, and once you're listening to the reading, you can just click away. Just saying, I don't know, but you do whatever you want to do. It's up to you. Anyways, so and also this project podcast is aimed for people who has never read the Bible. They don't know what the Bible says, or they're not familiarized with the Bible, and it's okay. We're not gonna judge you here. No. This project podcast is made for you. That's right. And there's no compromise here. There's no obligation here. You don't have to click on the like, or you don't have to subscribe, or you don't have to put a comment or anything, unless you want to. It is up to you. That's right. What else? And if you happen to be a Christian and you stumble into this podcast, I'm asking for help. If you check the description either below or above, depends where you're watching this show from, there's 3 platforms mentioned there to social media, which is Spotify, Facebook, and YouTube. If you please go to every single one of them directly and like and subscribe to the channel, like the channel, or like the episodes or episode, whatever, and click on the reminder and leave us a short comment. This will help us because the algorithm of each platform will notice this movement, this clicking, this movement of things, and it will say, it is alive. Let's promote this content. Let's promote this channel. And it will bring this type of content before people, before their eyes, the people who are not even looking for this type of content or programming. That's how you can help us. So these stories in chronological order can be exposed to more people out there. That's right. Well, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And let us know where you're watching or listening from. And if you want us to send you a greeting, let us know, and we will send a greeting to you. All right.